dark in here. It's 5:30 in the morning. Just finished writing. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm going to do my vlog anyways because I said I would. So today I've been thinking a lot about this conundrum that a lot of people in my position, you know, author hopefuls, fall into, where we get some very contrary advice. One of the most common things you'll hear when you are just getting started out writing is, well, write what you know. To a degree, that's obviously very good advice, assuming you're not a super boring person who has super boring friends and not a lot going on in their life, like you live in your sister's basement and can't afford rent every month and work in a bakery or something dull like that. But let's be honest, who has a life that boring? Anyway, another thing that people often say is write what you're passionate about. Tell your story. And another thing people say is you have to write for the market. Because, you know, if you want your book to be published and to sell, you have to write what people are going to read. I think a lot of people take that advice to mean write what is selling right then. And that's where you get, you know, thousands of copycat books from the bestseller list, you know, all of the vampire romance novels that appeared and are still appearing, all the fairy novels, all of the dystopian novels, all the Harry Potter knockoffs. Maybe that's just a matter of timing. You know, somebody wrote this story about a mysterious orphan who goes to some crazy location to learn magical type things, and there's all sorts of monsters and wizardry and witchcraft, and they couldn't sell it, and Harry Potter came out. Suddenly they, you know, managed to fall into that niche, but everybody thinks they just knocked off Harry Potter. Or maybe it really is just a case of somebody reads a book that, you know, is on the bestseller list, really likes it, but says, hey, I want to basically write fan fiction, but change the character names and story a little bit, and then, you know, sell it. And I don't know. Obviously, I'm not really in on the loop with the whole publishing world. I just sort of read agent blogs and know what I see on the bookshelves. But I have seen a couple people posting recently about writing for a niche or following trends purposefully as a way to break into the publishing world. And I disagree wholeheartedly. I don't think you should do that. I think that you should write your story in your world. If that follows, you know, a trend that's going on, fine. That's not really ideal because everybody's going to say you're not being creative, which is kind of the point of being any sort of artiste, writer or otherwise. But hopefully it's something completely different and something that you're extremely passionate about, you know, a brand new world that you're in love with, characters that you just think are awesome and that you would want to follow around and have a root beer with if they're underage. And I think that speaks much more loudly in writing than I'm writing this moody teenage story about people who do stuff that has been done before, but it's slightly different because it's my story and I hope that's going to sell. I mean, it's obvious when people do that. Again, this is just me speaking. Maybe I'm completely wrong and nobody does that. But I'm sure there's got to be a couple people who do. The book that I'm working on right now, that I just stayed up till 5:30 to write a couple more chapters, does not follow any trends right now. For one thing, the main character is a dude. There just are not a whole lot of male main characters right now. What's popular are the female characters. Sadly, what's really popular are female characters who are said to be strong and sassy and all these fun things, but they really aren't. They just spend the whole novel whining and waiting for somebody to save them and moping about which super hot jerkwad guy she's going to go for. I don't dig those books. Yeah. But let's not get into that. I'll be talking for hours. So, I have a male main character. He lives in the 1930s in a fictional town. He's doing a private detective thing. So, I mean, it's, you know, certain tropes that have been played before, certainly, but not what is selling right now. Maybe as a result I won't sell my book. Maybe nobody will want to pick it up. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll just be some fun new little thing that is a blip on the market and a few people read it and get a kick out of it, and that's all I really want, is to share that story and entertain a few people. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of dark, stupid o'clock in the morning, so I'm probably a little bit scatterbrained here, but yeah, write what you're passionate about, or create what you're passionate about, whatever your medium is. Don't follow trends, because it will be obvious that you're doing that, and, you know, your passion, what really speaks to you and gets you going, that's what's going to speak loudest. That's what's going to draw other people in. Not, you know, playing follow the leader. Don't ride on anybody's coattails. Again, possibly I'm not anybody that anybody should be listening to. But yeah. So that's all I have to say. Thank you. Good night. I'm Jay Larkin.